I've been very, very impressed with their basketball team and what Mike Boynton has done with them. You know, they've had some big wins in the non-conference schedule, and of course, even in their conference game, they've been in every game, and they play well. They split, I think, with Oklahoma, which, you know, when you understand the Bedlam series, that's how it goes. But they've also had a chance to beat Texas, so they've got some impressive wins, and they got some of those kids that played last year that played well for them. So Carroll, obviously someone, you know, the all-conference player. I think he scored in double figures last year for them. So it's a big game on our schedule. And why? Because it pits two of the premier conferences that are playing really good basketball this year against each other in a one-day slot. And so it'll be featured teams, and of course there's a series that everybody keeps up with. Last year I think it was 5-5, and so we'll find out, you know, who's playing well right now, and it may set the stage up for what takes place in postseason play. So, but it's a big game, a very physical basketball team. The Solomon kid, I think he's a kid that we're really going to have to keep off the board. McGriff, someone we're very familiar with that team. They have a transfer Smith kid who's scoring at a high clip, got balanced scoring. Good defensive team. So that, to me, they're still doing some of the same things they did last year. So we've got to really take care of the basketball, keep them off the glass, and make them take tough shots. It's a team that can score. The Shine kid, who was out last year, he's been playing really, really well for them. So I've been very, very impressed with their team.
Yeah, Mike, do you like the idea of having a rematch with Oklahoma State after they beat you guys pretty bad at their place, and now you get them at your place?
Well, I don't have anything to do with it. It's just, you know, how I think the schedule, it happened. So, and I think because of the proximity, that had something to do with it too. You know, Oklahoma, Arkansas. But in terms of, you know, last year, that game's over with. Nothing we can do about that. They had some great players, some guys who moved on, but they still have a really, really good basketball team there right now. So this is a different year, different team. We're a different team. They're a different team. So, but we get a chance to play in front of our fans and hopefully play some pretty good basketball. I didn't think we played really at all last year. I thought we went down there and they just took us to the woodshed, so to speak. But that has no bearing on this game here. This is a different year.
The fact you have so many players back who experienced that, you think that's a motivating thing for them?
Well, you know, I'm sure those guys will be ready to play. Our guys are going to be ready to play no matter who it is. You know, at this time of the year right now, all games are really, really big. And so this one here is the next one on our schedule. But I'm sure they're looking forward to it. They didn't play well. I know Darryl didn't play well at all. I don't know if he even scored in that particular game. We had a bunch of guys that didn't play well. But this, again, this is a different team, and hopefully it's a different focus. We'll continue to try to get better and continue to try to find ourselves in terms of how we want to play defensively. And I think that's the message I've been trying to get to our guys, that, you know, the offense will come and go. We got to be good defensively. And so for us to finish the game in Georgia with a defensive stop, hopefully that's something that we'll continue to see with our guys, that'll be emphasized, and they'll take it to heart about playing defense.
Talked a lot about Jalen's minutes. How difficult has it been to manage those in game, and how has he handled that, in your opinion, for having to play as many minutes as he's had to play?
Well, you know, in some instances he don't have he has a choice, but we actually had him playing 32 minutes in that game. We just had them go 10 minutes overtime, so I think that added up to 42. So we talked about cutting them down and trying to use the timeouts, the rest periods, and all that. But I'm sure it was one of those games where he didn't want to be out. He was very, very effective out there. So, but we got some other guys that are playing well now. So I'm sure that we'll be able to get some of those guys out there. CJ, he's playing with a lot more confidence. Darius continues to play at a high level. And so we got more guys now that are contributing, and that, to me, that lessens the load on Barford.
Coach, Carroll is improving his scoring average in conference play from what he was doing in non-conference. How do you stop a guy like that?
Well, we got to make him work for it. I think he's a guy that can step out and shoot the basketball. He's a guy that gets to the hole. He gets a lot of offensive rebound. He gets to the free throw line quite a bit. So we got to really pay attention to him, whether we're in a man or in a zone. We got to be aware of him and make him one of those guys that try to make other people's better. So he maybe make him distribute the basketball. But we got to be where he is and make it very, very difficult for him to score.
And how much has it impacted the energy level, being able to bring Macon off the bench in the last couple of games?
I tell you what, it's just giving us some balance, I think. I think more than anything else. And I think it's giving Darryl an opportunity to come out and just play basketball. The other last game is just from game to game. Dustin Thomas, who's been a starter, he comes off the bench. Well, guess what he did? He brought some super energy coming off the bench. Trey Thompson, who played 12 minutes, I think, in the previous game. I think he played 28, 29 minutes in the last game. Big difference. So when you start getting multiple guys that are coming off, and that's what we're talking about, the development stage. This team is developing, and as it develops, you get more guys who are going to be contributing in a consistent way, whether that be in points, energy, hustle plays. In Trey's case, it was a block shot. That was big for our basketball team. So. But with Darryl, I think he gets a chance to come out and play, and again, he turned the switch on in the second half, and our guys did a good job of screening for him, and he was moving without the basketball. And I thought he didn't play frustrated. There are times we've seen him where he's played frustrated. He didn't play frustrated. He played through the mistakes. He played through the missed shots. He played defense. And so that's a good thing to see. That, to me, that's a good sign of us as we try to get better.
Mike, there have been instances in the last two games where the TVs have caught Anton really grimacing in pain during points of the game.
Say it again now.
Anton, it looks like he's been grimacing in pain a couple of times the last couple of games. Is he still playing injured? And if he is, what have you thought about what he's been able to contribute the last couple of games?
Well, I think, he's twisted his ankle a couple of games ago, and I'm sure he's still, I'm still think it's probably sore at times. I mean, he's getting treatment while he has time off. So, but, it's, can you play with pain? That's the biggest question mark. And so, but it just tells you about his heart. I mean, he went to the basket in that game the other day, and I thought it was more when he planted to go up than it was somebody hit him. He got the and one in the game the other day, and I think he probably stung it a little bit. But he's a warrior. That's what he is. He's a warrior, and I applaud him for that. He came out and even took a big charge in that game. So keep making plays. He made a big play. I think the score was tied up. He gets the bucket to get us ahead before they make two free throws to get it over to overtime. So again, he's playing with his heart.
Mike, watching the game film, reviewing the film, what was Georgia doing to limit Gafford's shots, or maybe what was he not doing to get shots, and just kind of how do you think he'll respond?
I think Daniel continues to learn lessons. He went against a very veteran, crafty player. The big kid, Obadeko, he was pushing him around, and then, of course, when Maton got him, they pushed him out of the, pushed him away from the basket. So now he's having to work to get to the basket, and I thought they did a good job of really just making him a little smaller. He didn't play as long as he's been playing early on. So I think it's just the physicality. They got real physical and pushing him off the spot, and we've got to continue to do a better job of getting him in position where he can score and utilize what God has gifted him. He's a guy that can really, he can rebound and be on the other end of the floor before anybody gets down there. So it's one of those lessons that he's learned, but we got to have him give us inside presence, because I think once he gives us that inside presence scoring, then he's going to give us some great things on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Coach, finally getting the monkey off the back for this season of winning on the road, how big of a confidence boost do you think this is for this team going forward?
To me, it was the next phase, and we've done pretty good at home, with the exception of the LSU game. We played games on the road where we start off behind, but in this particular game, we actually, as I said, punched back and made it a ball game right before halftime. So to me, it's a progression of the things that we preach day in and day out. These are the same guys that, for the most part, that won 6 games on the road last year. So they didn't all of a sudden forget how to win. It's just a matter of these guys getting all on the same page and understanding it's going to be about our defense. You just can't go out and outscore people because that shooting comes and goes, but your defense can be there each and every night.
Mike, on the SEC call day, Rick Barnes was saying it was unfortunate Auburn didn't going to get to play in the challenge, playing so well. But I guess they set these things out a couple of years. Do you think it's kind of too bad that a team playing as well as Auburn doesn't get to represent the SEC?
They're playing well. I'm sure but it's something that's already set. So the SEC, they do that. I mean, they select the teams, and but it's a team that's playing really, really well right now, and they probably could. But then you look at the depth of the league, the teams that are playing in it, I think they're going to go out and they'll represent real well the teams that are in it right now.
And I know you guys split with the Big 12 last year, but the Big 12 won the other 3 years, and they've gotten overall, I think they're plus 10. How big would it be? Do you think it'd be for the SEC to win the challenge for the first time if y'all could do that?
Well, if you look at each and every year, it got better. It's gotten better. And if we're two of the premier leagues, and you get a chance to showcase your teams off in mid-season, then obviously that's going to be a plus for you. So no, it is a big deal. And I'm sure our coaches, their coaches in the Big 12, they're looking forward to playing this. They got a captive audience. Just SEC Big 12 games, and for us it'll be that next step, I think.
All right, thanks, guys.
Okay.